A lot of people aren't gonna like this, but here's how I would rank every single DCEU movie from worst to best now that it's over. With the release of James Gunn's Superman movie and the start of the new DC universe, I figure I might as well give you my ranking for a dead franchise. I mean, they stomping on the grave at this point, because the DCEU actually has some bangers, but it also has some ass. But either way, we gotta get to the bottom of which one's on top. And you can't forget, it's my list, I can't miss. Kicking things off with an honorable mention to Batgirl because it's gone and definitely forgotten because they didn't release it. They just canceled it. They took it from me, Carmine. That was today. One of the many abortions of Warner Brothers Studios. It's a shame we'll never get to see it because it was continuing on Michael Keaton's Batman being a mentor to Barbara Gordon. With the directors of Bad Boys, Ride or Die, nah, this would have had some sauce at least. Why would you show me something if I couldn't have it then? That was a crazy jump scare. My bad, I got shit on the screen. But easily in last place, I got Justice League, which is crazy because I was hyped when I saw this poster, but it completely ruined and disrespected Zack Snyder's vision for this film. Let's turn the saturation up and throw in some dumb, misogynistic, corny jokes. What the hell was Joss Whedon cooking? All I gotta say is CGI mustache and Kal-El, no! The additions and subtractions of this movie make no sense. Like, you cut out the emotional core and Cyborg storyline and you added in that family at the end for why? Like, what were they thinking? They weren't. Not much better, we got Wonder Woman 1984. Talk about taking a cliff dive from quality from your first film to your second one. Shit, they really brought the 80s back by making shitty sequels to a beloved superhero movie. But it really is crazy just how worse this one is. Just a terrible script with horrible dialogue and corny jokes. The shift in tone between the first movie and the second one is insane. Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord was interesting. Not gonna hold you, he kind of got a tear out of me, but his son looked nothing like him. Can we call Maury? Because Pedro, you are not the father. I need you to give me the stone. Whoever's idea was to bring back Steve Trevor by having him possess the body of an innocent man should be flipping burgers right now. Moving on to another movie that ruined the director's vision and was chopped and screwed on the cutting room floor. Suicide Squad. Worst heroes ever? More like worst lines ever. What are we, some kind of Suicide Squad? And it's crazy because you could see moments of greatness in this movie, but I don't know, man. Should they hashtag release the haircut? I do love Will Smith, even though he was just Will Smith and not really Deadshot. Viola Davis can do no wrong as Amanda Waller. And it felt like the studio was really Jared Leto's Joker in this movie. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you really, really bad. Man, I'll tell you the real reason I was watching. Next up, I got Shazam 2, Shazam Fury of the Gods. Pales in comparison to the first movie, in my opinion. Zach Levi and Asher Angel play two completely different characters. Horrible writing, line delivery's not there. They do got some baddies though, don't get me wrong. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't like the scene between him and his mom. That one really got me. And it's a cute family-friendly movie, but overall it's just meh. If you smell, I don't have chills. Next up, we got Black Adam, the movie that was going to change the hierarchy of the DCE universe forever by having it go extinct. The Rock didn't even try to play Black Adam. No accent, no ears, no widow's peak. What are we doing? A movie that's all style, no substance. Like, the visuals in this are kind of hard. The fight scenes go crazy. Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. Don't even get me started on that little skateboarding kid. Or the main villain, Sabak, who looks like a PS3 cutscene. My bad, that's disrespectful to the PS3. And overall, it doesn't matter what Black Adam is. From there, I gotta go with Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom, which is basically just a reskin Thor the Dark World, or a live-action version of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. But it is James Wan. I did have some fun with this. I love the interactions between our brothers here. Again, James Wan cooks in the fight scenes and action sequences. But overall, I was left disappointed, and that post-credit scene is the most green screen, try to be RDJ at the end of Iron Man. I am Aquaman. But the post-credit scene of Orm squishing the cockroach and eating it was the death of the DCE universe for sure. From there, we gotta go with The Flash, which I'm convinced everyone was paid to say was one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. Visually, one of the ugliest movies I've ever seen. The CGI is even worse. Why are we having our final battle in a barren landscape? It just makes everything look like a PS2 cutscreen. The face swaps between the two berries are very noticeable at times, but it does have some cool moments. Like, I think the emotional core actually kind of hit with him and his mom. Michael Keaton moving like Arkham Batman. Sasha Kaya as Supergirl. But those cameos are disrespectful. Next up, I gotta go with Birds of Prey, longest title ever. But I will say, I do like the stylistic choices and swings of a bat, you could say, that this film took. It felt different. It felt unique. And whoever's idea it was to have Margot Robbie be the lead in this film, you're my hero. They did do Cassandra Cain dirty, though. But Ewan McGregor, that's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi, as Blast Mask was kind of cooking. And overall, it's just a film at the end of the day that asks a simple question. Would you be willing to get eaten by a hyena to smash Harley Quinn? Yes. Moment of weakness, my bad. Let's move on. Next up, I gotta go with the first Shazam. I actually really enjoyed this movie, and when it came out at the time, it was competing with Captain Marvel, and I said this is still, and to this day, this is still the best Captain Marvel movie of all time. If you know, you know. And overall, this movie just treated its characters with a lot of respect. It felt a lot more intimate in its moments, and they really pull at your heartstrings at times, especially that scene with Billy's mom. I mean, if I was a kid that got superpowers, it wouldn't be much different than this. Even though it is a cookie-cutter origin story, but it felt different enough to feel fresh and unique. But dog, can we please do Mark Strong some justice as a DC villain? Him as Savannah was bleh. Even though I do like the creativity of that scene of them yelling at each other in the sky, and Billy's like, what are you saying? I like that. From there, I gotta go with Blue Beetle just because I have a personal connection with it. You know, at times it could feel very goofy, over the top, and feels like caricatures of Latino people. But at other times, it feels like it does a great job in showcasing just how much love Latinos have. I felt like I was watching my family up on a big screen. That scene at the end where she says, "Ya podemos a llorar." because we never have time to mourn until we get the job finished. And that's just so real. And even little moments like tipping, even though you're struggling, they nailed it. And on top of that, I just love Jaime Reyes as Blue Beetle. Definitely has the Space Kid vibes. It is a very basic and generic 3-act structure of an origin story, but it just has very high moments. I also love the mix of practical and CGI of the suit. Tell that to the Flash people. And dog, at the end of the movie, he gets his suit to make a fucking Cloud/Zabuza sword. Oh my god, what are we talking about? Don't even get me started on that hallway fight scene. This will mean something to me, man. I'm not gonna hold you. I forgot to add the first Aquaman movie, so I had to re-edit it, but I would put it right here. All the same things I said about Aquaman 2 apply, except it's done to perfection here. I love James Wan. He cooks here. This story is actually really incredible. The visuals are incredible. Again, dialogue, corny, cheesy. But you know what? It's my corny and cheesy. I fuck with it. But next up, I gotta go with Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. No, don't come at me. This one fixes most of the problems I had with the theatrical cut. I mean, it still has Batman killing. It still has the Martha moment. Why did you say that name? But I really do love how thought-provoking and compelling this film is, despite its adaptation of its characters. And outside of Martha Getting Day, I thoroughly enjoyed this film. It's the first time we saw the Trinity up on the big screen in live action. I don't care what you say. When she pulls up with the shield and you hear full body chills. And listen, I get they were going for Mark Zuckerberg or a tech billionaire for Lex, but it wasn't for me. That boy was much more Riddler than he was Lex. And he wasn't a bald-headed demon until the end. And how we gonna kill off Superman in the second movie? You know, I don't care. It was still fire. The fight scenes, everything, all the action, all the visuals go crazy. Shout out Larry Fong. But the opening of this movie goes crazy. Seeing the destruction of Metropolis through Batman's eyes, then the opening credits of his origin story, and the warehouse fight scene, just stop killing people. From there, I gotta go with Wonder Woman, which in my eyes, despite it having Gal Gadot, is one of, if not the greatest female-led superhero film of all time. For that No Man's Land scene alone. And I'm a sucker for a fish out of water story, and her coming to the States for the first time, seeing men for the first time like Steve. I like that. And this is Gal Gadot at her absolute best in this entire universe, even though her best is probably just meh. It's just that third act with Ares that kind of drags it down for me a little bit, but overall really good. Gotta go with Peacemaker next because do you really want it? Do you really want to taste it? And yeah, I know technically this will be a part of the new DC universe, but at the time it wasn't. Plus, how y'all gonna explain the original Justice League from the DC universe showing up in season 1, huh? Either way, I just love John Cena as his character. I love the 11th Street Kids. Vigilante is absolutely hilarious. And again, it has a banger soundtrack, but it also pulls at your emotional heartstrings, the relationship between Chris and his dad. Oof. And if you don't fuck with Eagly, I don't fuck with you. But into our top 3, with number 3, I gotta go with Zack Snyder's Justice League. Remember when I said there was a crazy dip in quality from the first movie to the second movie for Wonder Woman? It's just insane how much better this movie is than that piece of shit Justice League. Thoroughly one of the best ensemble superhero films I've ever seen. I love the dynamic between the characters. We actually got Superman in his black suit when he comes back to life. He actually kept the emotional core of Cyborg's story. None of those dumb jokes from Joss Whedon. And they actually had Steppenwolf moving like a demon. This one had the style and some of the substance. It's not perfect, but damn is it good. The visuals, the action. I wish I could experience Flash turning back time in a theater for the first time. It's a crime I can't. And overall, I love it. But in second place, and I know a lot of y'all might be shocked, I have Man of Steel personally. I know a lot of people have a hate boner for this movie for what it does to Superman's character and how much more brooding and stoic he is and seen as a biblical figure. But as an adaptation, I appreciate it. They act like two legends can't coexist. Why can't I like this and the original Superman? And just how Richard Donner and Christopher Reeve made me believe a man could fly. Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill made me believe a man is still flying. You're never gonna touch John Williams' score, but Hans Zimmer came damn close with Flight and What Are You Gonna Do When You're Not Saving the World? Again, the visuals and action sequences are incredible, even though, you know, he is killing. There are a couple of dumb moments with Jonathan Kent, which I still understand what Zack Snyder was going for in those moments. I just think he could have done it in a better way. But that first flight scene means something to me, and I don't care what you say. I fucking love this movie. But in first place, for me personally, stop playing with him, man. I got James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. This is a banger. This is a comic book brought to life. James Gunn was cooking, so much so that they made him the head of DC Studios. But it's got all the classic sensibilities of a James Gunn film: fun, over-the-top, action, goofy, in all the right ways, but having an emotional core and caring about each and every single one of its characters. Dog, I never thought I would give a shit about Ratcatcher or Polka Dot Man. James Gunn really did that shit. I absolutely love Nanaue, King Shark, and Bird. And the visuals in this one, mwah, the soundtrack, and overall, that's why it's number 1. Acknowledge it. But that is just how I would rank them. Let me know how you would rank them down in the comments below. And as always, wait a minute. Everybody get your lighters up. Pour one out for the DCE universe before we watch the new one emerge. And make sure you like and follow for more.